I like to know where people stand so I know how to treat you accordingly.
They be trying to do it, I'm just doing me. I be working hard and they just want it free.
Be competitive with yourself.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jsean for another quick and cool pickup. Today I wanted to talk about some GoPro action stuff right here. So I don't know, let me tell everybody something. In life, make sure you slow down. Make sure you take the necessary steps to figure out what you're doing before you have to do it again. And I probably said this before, but I keep finding myself doing it, so I'm going to keep trying to remind myself, practice what I'm preaching. It's like, man, sometimes when you rush things, you make mistakes and you work twice as hard. So this is not going to be your typical GoPro or whatever type of video. This is not even like a review. This is just my thoughts on something and how I'm trying to, how it affects me, and trying to see if maybe it affects you guys or one of you guys out there at least the same way as me. And then if it's helpful to me, then guess what? It's going to be helpful to you if you want it for the same purposes, right? So with that being said, I have a few action cameras, right? So as you can see right here, I don't know why it's even on. Let me turn this off real quick. So my history with GoPros started with just being the idea of having a cool action camera. I thought it was cool to take on vacation, family stuff. It's waterproof to a certain degree. I think it's a cool, fun camera, which it really is. You know what I mean? Some people may use it for professional reasons or personal reasons, whatever. I can't speak for those people. All I can do is speak for the reason I'm using it, right? I used it for some family vibe stuff and to have a discrete camera or a smaller camera at the time. That camera was the Hero 4 Silver. I didn't feel like it was necessary to get the black version at the time because, one, I thought it was pretty pricey for that type of camera, and two, I just didn't really have a need for it and I couldn't justify it. So as time goes on, I've used that for family stuff and personal stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I slowly only started taking it when I went to stuff like beaches where I needed the idea of having something waterproof, right? So fast forward, you know, the more you do stuff like this, the more you want to expand, you want to do more vlogging, you want to do different types of videos. And doing those types of videos and things, you start realizing that there's just certain type of gear that can help, that'll make it easier, right? So having a big setup, having multi-cameras and all that stuff, it's not ideal, especially if you're doing a lot of it by yourself, but it's not ideal in every situation, right? So I do a lot of stuff like this is about my life. It doesn't matter. It's not about tech. It's not about clothes. It's not about gaming stuff. It's not about anything specific. It's just my life and whatever comes with it, and whatever happens tomorrow that I feel like could be an experience that I could share with somebody that could be useful for them. I'm going to share it, and that's just what it is. So there's no real consistency of one thing, one specific idea of something. That's it. It's just whatever I go through that I think is valuable or potentially valuable to somebody else. And I think it because I thought it was valuable to me. Or some of it could be a trendy thing that I pick up and it's just something to talk about. It's hot on the market right now, whatever. But I even do stuff like work on my cars a lot. I like to share those things, and I've tried to share it before, but it's very hard because some of those things I don't have the answers to. I'm figuring it out for the first time also. And I'd have to be way too organized, or more organized than I'd like to be, or for that particular situation, because I'm trying to figure something out and I'm in the middle of it, and then I'm worried about filming myself and documenting it. It's just too much to worry about. So that's where something like these type of smaller cameras come into play. I feel like they're very good. You can even get stuff like this thing. It's called a chest mount or whatever. Based on my experience, I don't think it's the best item for walking with it, but if you're stagnant and you need your hands free, it's very good to do that. You strap it to your chest, and you pretty much have your hands free and you can do whatever you want with it. Now, with these cameras, you have to understand from my perspective, again, this is all about my perspective. I don't expect the best quality. I expect it to be better maybe than my cell phone, but I expect it to be a certain level of quality that I'm comfortable with. So to me, when I use a GoPro, it's more about the content. It's more about capturing whatever it is I'm trying to capture and just being able to get the shot versus missing the shot. One important aspect of video obviously is audio. So, you know, this is why I started adding stuff like the media mod. And the crazy thing with the media mod is that in order to have something like the screen, you need the media mod to go with it or it won't work. So let me tell you my specific example of why I got this now. I wanted something discreet, and I just wanted something that was smaller, right? So they kind of go hand in hand. I didn't care about the mic here. I didn't care about even having this case. But in order to do certain things. Like I said, one thing is important audio. In order to have good audio on these cameras that are better, I mean, there's times where you can just use a built-in mic and it's probably decent, but there's circumstances that you'll find yourself in. And I've done this before, like doing an automotive video. I depended on it was like a G7X, and they have pretty decent built-in audio for like a vlogging style camera. But then so much traffic and wind was going by that I realized after the fact that the audio was not usable because it overcompensated with all the noise around me, that the environment noise outdid my voice. And it was the whole footage was trash that I couldn't come back from. I couldn't do it again because it was a live moment that I was figuring something out and I wanted to share it, and I lost the moment. So with something like this, you need to be able to add maybe like an inexpensive, it doesn't have to be the best quality, but something compact, lavalier type of system, a wireless system, right? So in order to do that, you're going to need something like a media mod. So if I didn't have to have the media mod and I could add it, I would. But the only way to add it is you need a media mod. And plus it has cold shoe mounts where you can add the other end of the, well, I can't remember. I always get a confused transmitter receiver, but you know, the other part of the wireless lav. I mean, if you want a wired lav even, you can still plug it in on the side here, right? So you have those options. So I also, like I said, with the discrete factor, I wanted to be able to, one thing about filming and filming yourself, no matter how silly people think it is, you need to see yourself. You need to see yourself. Well, I need to see myself. I don't know about y'all, but I need to see myself. It just starts feeling weird after a while. I like to know my framing at least and how I'm looking like to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So when you're trying to be discreet and you build up a small rig and it turns up to a big rig, I kind of look at like, what's the point of having a small rig? It's not a small rig anymore and it's not discreet. So my thing is, when you look at this, it's just not discreet enough for me. Now, will I still use it? Do I still use it? Yes. But it's the more I'm adding to it, I'm realizing how inconvenient it is for the purpose that I had for this setup, right? But I definitely need the screen. So even if you took this away just like this, I wouldn't mind it. Do I have to have the screen? No, but it irritates me because that's the setup that I want. Now, if I were to talk about this camera and I talked about the new release of the 10, if I were to go side by side, I would say, if you had a 9 already, I don't know if it's worth jumping to a 10. But if you have an 8 or prior version, like myself, it may be something that you should consider, right? So for me, when I got this, they came out with the 9 shortly after, and I was debating to myself, man, I really wanted that screen. But the reason I didn't do it because I heard it had a lot of glitches. The screen was too laggy in the back, and I heard that the screen in the front was actually a delay that looked too inconvenient for me for the purpose that I wanted it for. So I decided to skip out and I decided to invest in the media mod and the screen. Even though I do like it, it still kind of goes against the reason why I wanted it. I still like it, I still use it, but I do find myself at certain times feeling the need to tuck the screen. I just feel a little awkward. It just depends. These are clips that you guys are probably not seeing of me using it, but it's just like there's moments that I just don't feel like it serves a purpose of my intended purpose of getting it in the first place. So I skipped the 9 and now they have the 10. Oh, and when I got the 8, I also ended up getting this, which is actually a really cool device, a 360 camera. It's just a different type of tool. I just feel as though this is also more for fun for me. But as you can see, it's bulbous. The lenses here, I like that you can see yourself. The problem is, I mean, if you are trying to be discreet, it's not very discreet when you have a lens facing this way and a lens facing this way and you're holding it up. I mean, so it's still cool that you can see yourself, but it's still not going to answer the question that I have. Plus the quality is not as good when you're just shooting like a 1080p or something like that. So with that being said, you know, it does have great stabilization of the horizon leveling. That's just really dope, but they have that or something more advanced in the 10. So with the 10, let me just take this out of the case. Well, actually, let me just leave it in. While it is only a little bit bigger, it is bigger. But when I look at the difference between this, one of the things they said was a bad fault with the 8. Because me personally, I never had any issues with my 8 quality-wise, any failures or anything, knock on wood. This right here, I do have a cover on it that's made by GoPro. It's just like a little adhesive, like a screen protector type cover. Never had issues, but I don't take this one in the water on purpose. Because I had my old Hero 4, it was being thrown around and it landed in the water, but it hit like a rock and it actually cracked the screen. So if this was to happen to here, I wouldn't be able to change anything. It's gonna my whole GoPro is done. You know what I mean? I have to get it repaired somehow if they even repair it. The cool thing with this is just like the 9, it twists off and you can change it. And this has some kind of thing where it has some coating apparently where if it gets wet, it drips off better. No water sticks and ruins the footage. For me personally, that doesn't bother me either because I'm not a surfer. I'm not somebody who's doing stuff in the water all the time. Me personally, I kind of like sometimes when there's water on the screen a little bit because I feel like these type of cameras, like, again, my main goal is not quality of the footage. It's just capturing the footage. So these type of cameras to me, especially being called action cameras, I feel like it's natural sometimes to have some water on the screen to get a little, it's not supposed to be perfect. I don't feel like it's meant to be. It's not like a production camera. It's supposed to look realistic. So to have imperfect footage. Now, if it's fogged up and you can't see anything, obviously that's not what you want either. But apparently people used to lick the screens or something like that. They say don't do it. I didn't even know about that until recently. I never licked my screen. But for my light water use, I never had to do any of that. But holding in the hand, this is thicker this way than even with the media mod on it. It's a little bit thicker, not including this screen. And it's a little bit bigger, nothing too crazy. But the difference is, if you were to have it like this for my 8 users, then you were to have this one without anything flipped up. That is quite a big difference, especially when you're trying to be discreet and you need a compact situation. So if you had, say, this in your car and it was next to the roof and you just say it was bumped, like there was something in the way here where you could not flip this up because of how it's mounted. I mean, something like this, you could put it in tighter spaces even, you know what I mean? So there's just advantages. I'm going to keep this one still, obviously, but this part of the video is mainly just showing the main differences that I can just see just going into it without actually using it yet. I'll come back and then I'll basically give you my opinion. If there's anything that sticks out to me, you have to remember the type of user I am. I don't really care about the super duper high frame rates or the super duper high resolution. That's not the reason why I have it. So that's not that important to me. It's cool that it does it, but I'm actually going to use it on a lower setting and setup. I need it to be consistent. I need it to work. Now, I did hear some people say that they had some overheating on high settings for like 20 minutes or so. For me, in reality, to shoot 20 minutes straight on a video camera is actually pretty long. If you shoot video, you would understand what I'm saying, unless you're like an event person. If you're doing some type of long production that requires that, typically you wouldn't depend on something like a GoPro anyway. But it doesn't matter. People don't feel like you should record on something and it overheats in 20 minutes. I get it. It could be the SD card. It could just be the camera software. It could just be the putting too much stuff in such a little situation here and it being some type of water resistant to a degree. It's not getting enough heat leaving the system. Is overheating in that way. I'm not really sure. All I know is I'm going to use it in my way, which I don't film that long anyway on these. I try not to. And I'll see if it actually affects me in my situation. Hopefully it doesn't. If it does, then maybe it overheats too fast. But I don't plan on shooting in those super high resolutions anyway. So we'll see how it goes. And I hope that going forward in the future that they will resolve that one way or another or somehow, you know what I mean? So if you're in the market for any SD card, they have this currently at Best Buy on sale. It is a 256. It's the A2. It's the V30. U3. This one is actually on sale for $62. If you get the 128 like I have in the Hero 8, you're going to get it on sale for like $67. So you might as well just get the 256. So because of the situation I have, that's why I ended up getting the media mod. And plus it has a super size windscreen. I'm not going to be using that. But if you have a 10, anything with a 9 on it is compatible because it's the same like shape, or it's the same body, you know what I mean, as the 9, the 10 is. So the way that you can tell, I'm not snapping all the way on, but you see it's pretty big. I'm not using this. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't plan on it. You're going to see blue writing, and there's blue writing on the side if you take this off right here. It says 10 black. Other than that, it's the same as the 9 as far as the shell or the exterior, right? So sorry if you missed it, but it came with a few things. I did try to save a few dollars. You're going to have to get extra battery. Just get the dock, and it comes with extra battery. One thing I heard with the 10, you do have to scan or whatever, and you have to update the software and everything else. A lot of cameras do that now. It's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. It came with this little case, semi-hard case, not too bad, not too shabby. I'm probably not going to actually use it though, but it's there and it comes with it. This is the packaging that the 10 came in. Now, like I said, I wasn't able to share every single part of it because I already opened it and I realized I didn't even have my audio on. I keep doing that. This is also the stuff that came with the media mod. These two things right here. And the extra battery just came with this setup right here. And that's pretty much it. I think that's it. So going forward, what I'm going to do, my bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to update this body. I'm going to put my memory card in it. I'm going to use it how I use it. And I want to see if there's anything noticeable compared to my 8 and how I use it as far as lagginess. Very simple things. Like I said, it's probably not going to be for a vast majority of the people how they use it as far as people who especially getting it for action. But this, to me, is a great setup for, you know, somebody who wants a discreet camera. I think it'd even be good for a vlogger because it's multi-use. It's very discreet. It's compact. You can use it in different areas for different reasons, for whatever. Just don't be a creep about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's useful. I like the fact that I even have two here. I'm pretty sure they're going to be very similar in quality. And now I have an A and a B cam. I'm not using the other one. The other one I gave to my kids or whatever. They can do whatever they want with it. Vacation-wise, they already cracked it anyway. So I like the idea that this has a screen. Hopefully it's just not laggy or buggy or something weird. One thing I really do like is the fact that you can plug the cable right into it, right into your mobile device. Now, I will say this though. One thing I don't like is the fact that they're trying to act like the screen not lagging in the front and the screen not lagging as much in the back when you scroll is some type of feature. That's not a feature. That's what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the 10 is what the 9 should have been. Don't act like it's a feature and try to charge more for it. So with that being said, also, if you get it straight from GoPro, you can get everything you see here minus the SD card, and you're only looking at about $530 after shipping and taxes and where I'm at. If you were to do the same thing at Best Buy with this, I think it was a little over like $630. So I ended up doing about $690 altogether or something like that. Kind of crazy, but it's because if you order through GoPro, you do the subscription. It's a year subscription. You get like the unlimited cloud upload. I don't know if I really need that, but it does have like a warranty, no questions asked type of thing that might be helpful, but I don't want to refurbish stuff and whatever. But you save like $100. Now, the difference is for me is that I did pay more, but with buying it locally at something like a Best Buy, if I change my mind for some reason, I can just take it right back. If I do this with GoPro, because GoPro lately, I mean, come on, y'all, the rep has been a little up and down lately. People is not that excited like they used to be. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and especially with the inconsistencies with the quality control and how it works for certain people, I don't even know if this is going to work for me. So for some reason, if I realize it doesn't work for me, I can just go ahead and take it right back and I'll be good to go and move on with my life. If I get through GoPro, I don't know what the process is. I don't even know if they accept it back. I'm not sure. So I'd rather just get it over with. So with that being said, enough talking. I guess I'll go ahead and catch you when I come back. And I'll go ahead and give you a quick little update if I think it was actually worth it coming from an 8 for my circumstances. Hopefully it is. And then and plus I got this one, just like the specialty version, you know what I'm saying? This is the specialty. Let me see. This is like a specialty camera. It's very fun and very cool to use. It's just that I actually find myself. Let me show you all these side by side. So let me see. Let me see if I can get this better. There you go. So that's what they look like. And hopefully when you see a new video, you probably see me in my new space. You know what I mean?